Growth, I was president of 3 fast growth companies over about a 15-year period. But for the last 10 years, I've done nothing but study what leads to sustainable, profitable growth. My definition of sustained growth is this: 5 years of 20% or greater. 5 years, 20% or greater. If you're able to achieve that, then you have what I call a sustained growth company. There are 7 areas in which growth companies concentrate their time, their money, and their effort. I'm not going to be telling you what to do today. It would be presumptuous of me, it would even be incorrect for me to tell you what to do to grow your businesses. Instead, what I'm going to be doing is suggesting that there are 7 areas in which you look for the innovations, the evolutions that lead to the revolutions that lead to the next level, that lead to growth. Let me ask you this. How many people here travel even 20 times a year by air? 20 times a year travel. Anybody? There we go. Sir, would you agree with me? Prior to September 11th, it wasn't a lot of fun, but it was acceptable. After September 11th, it was more difficult. Would you agree? Would you agree in the last 2 years it's become even worse? Can we go so far as to say it was horrific in the last? Is that true? For those who don't know, it's even worse now than ever before. But here's what I do. The only way I can survive a business travel day and keep a smile on my face is by keeping my eye on a prize. I have a prize at the end of every business travel day, and there it is. It's a vanilla milkshake. I love vanilla milkshakes. Can you see it? I'm going to get out of the way of it. Can you see it? I mean, look, folks, I'm not just talking about the milkshake. I'm talking. Can you see this condensation? That's part of the visualization. Can you see how thick the straws are sticking up in the middle there? Big, thick, beautiful vanilla milkshake. I just visualize that prize when they say things to me like, "I'm so sorry, sir, your flight's been canceled." That's okay. I'm sure there'll be another one. See how that works? Now, it's been a particularly difficult day of planes, trains, and automobiles. I'm arriving into Baltimore, Maryland at midnight. I'm standing in a long taxi cab line, and eventually I get in the cab, and it takes me down to the Inner Harbor, and it's probably a 45-minute drive, isn't it? So it's now about 1 in the morning. It's 1 in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. I got 2 bags on my shoulders. I show up at the hotel. There's a 30-minute wait to check in, because everyone had been late to BWI that night due to weather problems. So I've got my 2 bags, and I'm waiting, and eventually I get to the front desk, and they give me one of those plastic keys. You know what I'm talking about, a plastic key? Okay. Room 809. With the 2 bags on my shoulders, I went to the elevator, pressed the 8th floor, get off on the 8th floor, went to room 809, took out my trusty key, put it in the door. It didn't work, did it? That is a 50-50 proposition in our country. So, I'm still smiling. I went downstairs. I got another key. I put the 2 bags on my shoulders. I went to the 8th floor. I went to room 809. I put it in the door. Now, this time it worked. This time it worked, and I pushed through. I went through. I didn't even put the bags down. I went straight over, and I hit room service. This is an exact quote of what I heard on the other end of the line. "Good evening, Mr. Little. This is Stuart in room service. What can I do to serve you?" Quite the eager beaver for 1 in the morning. Would you agree? But he was obviously polite. He was obviously well trained. At this point in the transaction, I was relatively encouraged. At this point, I said, "Stuart, I'd like a vanilla milkshake, please." Now, what did Stuart say to me? Right, we don't have vanilla milkshakes. I was crushed, right? But I regrouped. I knew he was my friend. He was been so nice to me. I said this. I said, "Stuart, my friend, let me ask you this question. Do you have any vanilla ice cream in the kitchen tonight?" "Oh, yes, Mr. Little. We've got ice cream. Would you like some?" I said, "Yes, Stuart, I'd like a full bowl of vanilla ice cream." He said, "Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Anything else I can do to serve you?" I said, "Yeah. You got any milk down there in the kitchen? Any milk, Stuart?" He said, "Yes, Mr. Little, I've got milk. Would you like some?" Yes, Stuart, I'd like a half-full glass of milk in the tallest tumbler you have. Half full, Mr. Little? Half full, Stuart. Now, he thought that was an odd request, but he agreed to it. Anything else, Mr. Little? Anything else at all I can do to serve you? Stuart, I'm going to need a long spoon to go with that. Now, you think I'm making this up. Folks, I can't make stuff like this up. Okay? Here's what happened. 5 minutes later, there was a knock at the door, and there is a tray with a full bowl of ice cream, half a glass of milk, and a long spoon. Now, I have a question for you. Perhaps you'll want to discuss it amongst yourselves. The question is this: is Stuart stupid? Is Stuart stupid? How many people think Stuart's stupid? Raise your hand. How many think he's not stupid? Raise your hand. How many people think there's not enough information? Raise your hand. Because that might be the right answer. Look, everything I just told you is 100% true. It was Stuart. It was Baltimore. It was a little over a year and a half ago. I was cold, wet, tired, and hungry, and I was smiling. It's all true. Haven't told you the full truth. Full truth is this: I've run that experiment over the last 5 years, approximately 50 times a year, a total of 250 times, about 50 times a year. Now, it's not every night, because often, it's like here, it's on the menu. So I don't call it in if it's on the menu, I know we'll do it. I test the system when it's not on the menu. And that's the point of the milkshake story. Remember, this is not a customer service story. Stuart wanted to do a good job. The milkshake rule says this: Stuart's not stupid, it's the system that's stupid. Don't let your systems make you stupid. With all the getting of technology, it should make us faster, cheaper, better, and smarter.